help us understand Atomy's road to success, let's welcome with a resounding round of applause our vision speaker, Royal Master, Mr. Ming Ayu.
Thank you, thank you. I think I should come to Philippines more. I just want to thank actually Emmanuel. You did a great job on your presentation, and thank you, Jane, for the MC work. Yeah. And again, Ming Ayu from Canada, Royal Master, Royal Leaders Club. Today I really want to share to you something very unique, like most of us who do the Atomy journey. My journey was quite unique because I really didn't have interest in this company. Yeah, it's amazing, but I don't know how it ended up that I'm here actually on the stage. So let me start with the PowerPoint so you guys have a clear understanding. Actually, I've been in the working world for actually minimum 38 years. Yeah, and actually I'm a property, I think I changed the name there, property agent you guys call in here in Philippines, right? Yeah, I've been doing that for 31 years. This is my 32nd year. Yeah, and plus I own 2 other businesses. So I'm not a typical normal person. I think I'm kind of like the Filipino businessman here, right? They do multiple business, right? Yeah, exactly the same. So like many people who do businesses, we tend to have a little stigma, especially about, this type of business. Yeah, and like myself, I have 0 interest. And actually, I'm scared of any MLM. Yeah, especially when someone approaches me, because I usually have seen so many in my life. I got introduced, I think, if I can't even count, probably in the thousands, people try to introduce me direct sale. One of the things that I didn't like about direct sale is actually a lot of meetings, a lot of talking, and then all these things you got to keep doing every single day. You have a schedule. I felt there's a lot of work. So a lot of people ask me, why am I in Atomy? Well, something funny about it. As you can see, I'm going to show you a product. This is actually how it all began. This is the product. How many people use this product? Yeah. Well, I can tell you this one single product, 54 pesos, okay, now become an annual income of 12.5 million. In roughly, it was less than 8 years, I'll tell you that, it was less than 8 years. But although the money don't go into my bank account, I think you guys know where it goes, right? Yeah. So, this little item, how can one little item become so precious, so valuable? I know earlier, the compensation plan, that it's great. But even myself, when I first looked at this company, I actually was totally in disbelief. I cannot believe the products are so cheap. And I can't believe how come people would buy some products that are from Korea, right? And then these necessity products, which I've never even heard of. Because like most of us, I mean, we heard the name brands, right? For many of you, I think you guys know Colgate, right? Yeah, and then, Oral-B, all these ones, they make a fabulous toothbrush and toothpaste. But, the Atomy one, I was just looking at it, I was going, interesting. The price was very, very low, right? And like most of us, when it's low, you don't want to try. How many people have that problem when you introduce to people? You guys don't have that problem? Yeah, I had that problem. Yeah. Because of course, I was also a professional. It was very hard for me to introduce Atomy products. And when I actually started introducing it, people thought I was crazy. Yeah. They think I lost it. I make very good money in my businesses and everything. And then when you introduce something so cheap, people thought that, why are you doing this? And especially when they found out it was direct sale. Wow, you should have seen the negativity I faced. So one of the things, unlike most people, when you face that type of problem, what happens to you? You don't want to do it, right? You feel like you want to quit. Yeah. And not only me, I won't count myself, but actually, Rebecca faced this problem for a long time, especially doing the Atomy business. She actually wanted to quit 25 times at least. Yeah. So you might not get a chance to see her on stage if she had quit, right? Yeah. So like many of us, from one single item, if you think about it, we all make investments, right? Who has investments right now? Raise your hand. Actually, all of you should raise your hands because you're investing in yourself. That's already an investment, right? So it's nature already gifted to you that you always have to invest. So imagine if you have invested, like myself, invested in one little oral care set and what it can become 8 years later. Most of us can't imagine that. Cannot even see that type of income because we're used to the traditional type of income where you work and you get paid, where you do a transaction and you get paid. So of course, many people ask, how can you make money in this company when the products are so low? Well, I think the secret, Emmanuel kind of mentioned, it's all in the PVs. That's great, the table, I saw that 300,000. It's based on all the different PVs that's in our products. And like Emmanuel mentioned about how we all have bills, right? So how do you balance those bills? You need to offset it with some type of residual income, right? So I call it more like an investment income because in properties, I specialize in investments. So when I first got introduced to this company, when I found out about the system, I said, wow, this one has a foolproof system. It will work, but is it realistic, right? And you can see here, most of you right now, let's talk about monthly. Do any of you have some type of investment that gives you 5,000-6,000 pesos? Raise your hand. Wow. Hey, I feel like I'm in Canada. It's exactly the same thing. Nobody raised their hands. I just pointed out the very first one, and nobody has the investment. Because you know why? I think right now inflation already defeated all of you guys, right? And you guys are having a tough time. So imagine if you do the Atomy business, you can balance off at least the inflation. And of course, our Atomy system's amazing. A lot of people always ask me, how much do you need to invest in this company? I know there's a lot of companies you need to invest a certain amount, you need to buy certain things, and you have to do it every month. Well, I actually find this company, you don't need to. Pretty much most of the things are free in this company. The account's free, right? You're using your necessity products, right? And then of course you just share it. And then the PVs naturally will rise. It's a numbers game. Just like I'm pretty sure when Philippines first started, there was a lot of people, but even the seminars, there wasn't this many people, right? But look at the attendance now. It just gets more and more. For us, when we first got this free Atomy account, Rebecca actually shared it in the salon. This is her mother's salon. So that's where it all began. Salon has a very good activity there, right? Lots of people coming in and out. Everyone needs to get their hair done. They need to look good, right? But looking good with their hair, don't they need something else that looks good? The face, right? And actually, this is actually our very first center. I know here I see so many people so excited because you guys are talking about centers and mentioning about your sponsor. Unlike you guys, we actually really didn't have a sponsor. We didn't have anybody teach us. Yeah, and we didn't have a sponsor. It was actually Atomy Canada wanted us to open the center. So we were quite unique. But because we were learning a lot, because you can learn a lot from our company through the videos, right? And that's where we focus on learning. And our center wasn't the fanciest, as you can see. But from this one tiny little center, it actually began our official journey in Atomy. And one thing very amazingly, I know when we first joined this company, I wasn't interested. It was just, Rebecca doing it. But she got so excited talking about all the different products. She lost her voice. So who do you think they sent? Me. They sent the guy who wasn't interested. And Toronto had a Success Academy. We live in Vancouver, by the way, so it's like halfway across Canada. It's pretty far. So when I flew there, time zone, many hours, busy schedule, I was very tired. And when they put me in the Success Academy, they put me in the front. And guess who was there? Chairman was there. He caught me sleeping. Bad student. But sometimes I have to talk to you about bad students. They turn good, right? Yeah. And also when I went to this Success Academy in the morning, Canada's everything's expensive, so it didn't include breakfast. So I was walking around to see where there was food. And actually, when I walked into the breakfast area, there was member number 1, Mr. Yoon. Who knows Mr. Yoon? Oh, you guys don't know Mr. Yoon? Oh, he's the Imperial Master who just got crowned in November. Yeah. Well, he's a really nice guy. He bought me breakfast. Wow. I tell you this, sometimes you have to think about there must be fate. If I didn't see the chairman, right? And if Mr. Yoon didn't buy me breakfast, I might not be on the stage. No, just kidding. No. And, somehow in this company, we got very lucky. Even I myself, I'm not a platform speaker. I don't have MLM skill. Everything that I do is one-on-one, so I do not do anything that's in groups or like this type of audience. But somehow in this company, they just kept giving me opportunity after opportunity. And even as a Diamond Master, they actually send me halfway around the world to Malaysia to do some speaking. So for many of you, even though no mastership, I tell you this company will always give you guys opportunities, okay? And in Canada, we have very difficult problem with attendees during the earlier years. One of the key problems is in Canada, we actually back then when we joined, there's only 20 products. Do you know how hard it is to tell people to go to a website when there's only 20? It's very difficult. Yeah. And also, actually, the free shipping is $350 Canadian to get free shipping. So a lot of people says it was very difficult to do business. And it was true. But through difficult times, you have to learn different ways to do it. So even for us, we learn different approach. From, of course, the initial failure, you learn to master how you can actually share it. And of course, having the opportunity to speak around the world, I got to learn a lot. One of the key things is, when you go to different countries, they do Atomy a little bit different. They have different products. And of course, the currency is different. So you can see there's a lot more excitement. So for example, Philippines here. In Atomy, level 1, sales master. How's that income? Is it good? If you're a sales master? Yeah. I tell you this, I've been here a few times. I can see the spending's much less. So if you have what's called the auto sales master, the income goes very, very far. And like I showed you here, this was our center. I had such a difficult time trying to get people to come, to learn, to meet at the center. I'm sure here, I haven't been to your center yet. I do hope next time I have a little bit more time, I would like to do some center visits and help you guys out, okay? And of course, center is very important because this is where you can learn a lot. And because Philippines, you guys have such a diverse area, the center is going to play a very big part in this. So definitely I would say, the center is going to be a very good area that people can learn a lot of information and then share among all the different members. And here's something that a lot of people always ask us. They say, how did you guys do your Atomy business? Well, here's our timeline. Yeah. So we started, a few months later, we became sales master. And then another few more months, we became Diamond Masters. Even though with the difficulty of the limited product and the high shipping fee, right? But you can see there in January 2017, that's actually when I actually began my Atomy journey. Do you guys know why I began at that time? Yeah, that's when I actually saw Rebecca having difficulty with the Atomy business. She couldn't grow it, and she was facing a lot of problems because she too does not have any direct sale experience, right? And when I saw that in her journey, I said, as a husband, what do you say? You got married, so shouldn't you be doing things together? So I asked her a very important question. I go, do you want this Atomy business? And she said yes. She still likes it a lot. She doesn't like the negativity. Yeah. So I actually said, okay, fine. Let's do the Atomy business. And I said, don't worry about any negative thing. I will handle it for you. Yeah. So I know there's a lot of men here. And, just like myself, we tend to be a little bit more focused on only certain things. But, the Atomy business I see is a very great platform. Because once I actually started focusing on the Atomy business, our whole network, our whole world changed. So it's about your determination. As you can see there in 2017, once I focused on it, a few months later, Sharon Rose Masters appeared, right? And then a little bit later, Star Master, okay? But take note of where they have that Leaders Club and Royal Leaders Club. Actually, that one's quite unique because how we actually did the Leaders Club, you guys know about Leaders Club? That pin? Yeah, that's the one in Canadian dollars over 100,000, and then the other one's 200,000. So what happened is that happened during pandemic. So like many people during pandemic, what happened to you guys? You're trapped at home, right? And you think you can't do any other business. Well, you had the best business on the planet. It was in the palm of your hand. I spotted it. I said, wow, this is a good time. Time to call everybody and message everybody. Yeah. So, of course, I started messaging all these different people, and guess what? Oh, yeah, you know what? Before I'm not interested, I think I'll consider it now. So one by one, people started wanting to do the Atomy business, especially during pandemic. So of course, the end result is when you start sharing at such a difficult time in people's lives and giving them an opportunity to change, you know what happens? A great effect. So not only did we reach in 6 months later, we got into Leaders Club, but usually you need to wait another year or two before you can make it into the next club, right? No. 5 months later, it was Royal Leaders Club. So I have to say this, in life, we all have gifts. And we all can see sometime what's going to happen. I actually saw it. I knew this company is very good. And the pandemic actually gave me an upper hand. I said, this is the opportunity where I can help a lot of people. I wasn't really focused, I'll be honest with you. I wasn't focused on our income, but I focused on our members' income. I focused on their survival. They needed money to survive during pandemic. I focused on, during this pandemic time, that they can move forward and do more Atomy business, because many people were stuck at home. So amazingly, that end result is, guess what? It pushes us up. I asked a lot of people, even me, I'm a university graduate. After you graduate from university, let's say even you get your master's. So that's like what, 7 years, sometimes 8 years. Then you still have to get a job. But in our Atomy University, 8 years, you graduate with what? A big income. I don't discourage education, but I approve of any type of education. We are all given here on this planet right now that you can learn from any situation. You can always turn things around. And when I saw the Atomy business can help a lot of people, that was what drove actually me and Rebecca to move forward to help a lot of people. So of course, Atomy, I tell you this, is the best investment. How many of you have insurance policies? Wow, look at the hands. Why do you buy insurance? Do you know why? For security. Do you know what's the best insurance? Yeah. Do you know why first? Okay, your current insurance policy, you have to pay every single month. Am I right? Okay, your Atomy insurance policy, are you paying every month? I think the policy is already paying out to you. Yeah. So, I tell a lot of people, you have to understand, do your math correctly. You're contributing to an insurance policy for many, many years, right? But in Atomy, if you built up the business, not only is the insurance for you, who else is it for? 3 generations, as Emmanuel says, right? Wow, that's a big insurance policy. So what I actually just pointed out to you, if you meet somebody who's, maybe in the business world, those are the tough guys, very hard to convince, right? Tell them about the insurance policy that's built into the system, right? Instead of contributing and paying for insurance policy, now you can actually build it naturally through consumption. I know a lot of people went through COVID and it really hurt. But do you guys know what's happening to the world lately? I know Philippines is pretty peaceful here, but in North America, we have a lot of mess. AI is coming in already. And it's going to eliminate a lot of jobs. Yeah. And for those of you who are not prepared, what's going to happen? If you don't have a backup plan, when it hits you, I'm sorry, it'll be too late. That's why Atomy is also an excellent backup plan for you. Because do you have to do it consistently? No. Do you have to wake up 9 to 5 to do it? Mm-mm. Can you work anywhere? Wow. Is there a boss other than your sponsor, right? I mean, there's no real boss. So if you think about it, this is actually the best job. So my biggest question is, what's holding you guys back? There should be nothing holding you guys back. I've seen so many businesses because I get to travel around a lot in the world. And even very popular, famous businesses, they will close down. Maybe because of pandemic, maybe because of new rules, maybe because of wages are increasing, maybe the lease are climbing up. It causes them to have to close. But do you have to close your Atomy business? No. And I need to talk a little bit about this because, I'm very lucky. I missed the typhoon in Hong Kong when I was flying from Malaysia. And then again, I missed the typhoon when I came to Philippines. Wow, what did I luck missing too? I think the guy upstairs is watching out for me. Yeah. He wanted to make sure I can make it here. Yeah. So let's talk about these type of situations where the typhoon can cause a lot of damage, right? And what happens if it's a big one and it affects your food supply or maybe your energy? In life, when this stops, that means your income stops if you're working, right? They can't open the premise, there's no electricity. So guess what? You can't work, right? Or let's say there's no food. Or let's say there is food, but because of the typhoon, the food price shoots up. Wow, what's going to happen to you, right? Our world climate's changing, I got to say. It's changing very fast. I noticed on this trip, it's a lot more heavier than normal. Even in, Malaysia and all the other places, the rain is super hard. Now, here too, I see it's pretty consistent. So, sometimes there's so much rain, there's flooding, right? It can cause a lot of adverse effect. Or even crops don't grow properly. Then this way, your food supply shrinks. So that's why I gotta say, you need to buy your Atomy insurance, right? It doesn't cost you anything. So invest into it. So how I look at Atomy, the business, I consider it as an investment, right? How many of you guys buy stocks? Oh, well, it costs money, right? And it's risky, am I correct? but treat your Atomy account like a stock. So when you open your free business, right, your investment, you actually got a stock already. So this is a free stock. So as you move forward, guess what? It pays you like a dividend. Remember, you didn't have to buy the stock. By joining, you got the freebie. Hey, does that sound like a scam? Well, guess what? It's not, because it's free. So by opening this Atomy account, you already got this wonderful Atomy stock. And with the stock, as you keep moving forward and sharing, in the beginning, of course, I gotta say, it's slow, right? Maybe 1 month you get a payout, right? But as you build more consumer, maybe you get 2 payouts. And then maybe you get 4 or 5. Sometimes you're very lucky, you get multiples, right? So with this stock, it can continue to generate dividends for you as an income and offset all your expenses. You know, I tell a lot of people, you have to be mathematically about your finances, right? Because I can see a lot of people, they don't think about it, but then they're trying to fight. As you can see from the slide from Emmanuel, you can't win. There's so much thing, there's so much debt. Everyone has so much expense. So the only way you need to do is offset it. So one of the key things is like these seminars. You know, it's free. You can come and learn. And there's the online platform. Actually, I have a lot of my members, because you guys have it on YouTube, they're actually watching it. Yeah. They were messaging me saying, oh no, there's no translation for you. You don't understand Tagalog. But I said it's okay. Yeah. So you see, the learning is all about you, whether you make the opportunities time to learn about it. But as I mentioned earlier about the faith, I think it plays a big part in the very beginning that I got to meet Mr. Yoon, member number 1, and also our chairman. And plus, I met a lot of wonderful Atomy leaders. Yeah, although, you know, they're not on my same lineage, but, you know, they were very helpful. They were telling me about, you know, how, you know, Atomy business is very good, and, you know, sometimes how they do the Atomy business. And here's actually the picture of me meeting Mr. Yoon. So I'm sure you guys recognize him. You might have seen him, right? Yeah. So there's my breakfast. Free breakfast. And then also meeting our handsome chairman. Yeah. So this guy is actually, for those of you who don't know him, or if you do know him, he's the brother of our chairman. Yeah, he actually came to Canada. He gave us a very, very good advice. You know, like any business platform, a lot of times you don't know what to do. And because of sometimes a lot of the negativity, it affects you. But he said something very, very important, and he guided us. He says, you know what? Just don't look up. Look at everything that's below you from where you are, because that's your empire. So with that conception where you don't have to worry about things above you, you can easily move. There's no constraint. So like for us, because now I only just focus on where we are and building underneath, we built a giant empire. And like many of you, you have always the typical question: how do I make more money? I want to be successful. Or I was looking at the life scenario there. People are saying, I want to open a center, I want to buy a new car, I want this, I want that. You know, these are all the things that you want. But the question is, how are you going to get it? Well, I can tell you this: the fastest way is through Atomy. Because I've traveled so many places, whether it's Philippines, whether it's Indonesia, Thailand, I've seen many people become successful. And even I myself, I have a lot of seniors who are retired, who actually don't have much money. Living in Canada is very expensive. And because of Atomy, it saved them. Now they have income. So the Atomy system, I can tell you, is very possible because everything's free, right? And the Atomy Philippines, the head office, really supports you guys. And I know you guys probably had some seminar where people teach you about the 8 steps of success. It's very, very important, right? One of the key steps that's in the 8 steps, what do you think that is? It's actually duplication. So you must do the right thing because they will continue to duplicate. It's almost like your children, right? If you're a bad parent, guess what? It's going to carry forward into your children. So it's exactly the same. In Atomy, you become an Atomy family, and you have many, many offsprings. So as you can see, the 8 steps of success, the duplication, they teach it is in the last step. It's very, very important. But one other step I find that's very, very core value to the success of someone doing Atomy is actually the determination. Just like myself, once I committed in 2017, I'm determined to do this business. Nothing can stop me. And that's why the road to success is here. And I want you guys to have the same. There's no big secret. There's no way that you can do this different. It's all inside every single one of you. You just need to be determined, and you can make it. And the life scenario, I have to tell you guys this. I was a very, very bad life scenario student. Every time I came to success, I pretend I was doing it, and I never completed it. Yeah, for the longest time. I think at least 2 years. But amazingly, 2 years later, I did do one. I completed one life scenario. Yeah. I'm going to have to save that for next time if Eric invites me, because I have a presentation about life scenario. And the magical thing is that one single life scenario that I completed, guess what? Almost everything in the life scenario is completed now. The power of writing is very, very important. Because I didn't understand the company. And I know our chairman keeps teaching all of us, you must develop yourself. And that's what the life scenario does. It gives you guidance. It points out where you need to go, where you need to work a little bit more, or the one thing that you want. And I guarantee you, with Atomy, everything will be completed in your life scenario. Like I mentioned, we didn't really have a sponsor. So for me to understand the next step, the next level, it was kind of difficult. When I was a guest speaker in Malaysia, it's a very funny story because they put me there, and beside me was Oki Lee. So, she's a very funny lady, but very successful in USA. And we saw the very first person in Malaysia, one of the leaders, get Star Master right away, and the country just opened. So I was curious to know, how can they do it so fast, right? How come there's such a big speed component in them? So of course, I try to, while watching the Success Academy, I try to think, how can you do Star Master? So I couldn't sleep the whole night. I kept thinking and thinking. And then exactly on midnight, it came to me. I said, I understand how they did it now. So when you analyze and figure out how somebody else did their mastership, basically that's information for me now. Now I understand how I can do it, but I'll have to do it my way. So that was the first step. And once I understand, once I drew it out, it wasn't too long. We became Star Masters. So this skill, I do want you guys to practice because I know we all have smartphones. Who writes anymore? Nobody writes, right? But you do have to, you should, okay? Because writing is different. According to history, when you write, your eyes and your brain are memorizing it all. And because it's envisioning it, that's the vision part. It's going to put this vision into reality. And that's why it can appear right in front of you. So of course, the next one is I drew the Role Master chart. Yeah. When I first drew it, I was going, oh my gosh, you need that many people? But once you understand the amount of people you need, guess what? Then you start reviewing your chart and see who you have underneath. And when I was reviewing it, I say, oh, it's actually not that bad. It didn't seem impossible. I know many people, when they look at the next level, when it's getting higher up, they feel it's impossible. But guess what? You know the word impossible means, right? It's I and then possible. It just means you can do it. You're possible, right? So by drawing it out, everything started appearing again. You know, financial freedom and balanced life. Like today, this morning, one of the leaders asked me the question, how do you have balanced life? You're so busy. I explained to them, I said, balanced life doesn't mean because I'm busy. But if I'm doing something that I enjoy, like here, coming to Philippines and helping you guys, sharing my knowledge, giving you guys guidance, sharing you my experience, I'm hopeful that I can actually help you guys. To me, that's enjoyment. Because our chairman says, you know, when you start reaching the top or when you're at the top, please contribute. And for me, I actually want to contribute earlier. Don't need to wait for the top. Why not carry everybody with you to the top? I do want you guys, for many of you, I know this is something that maybe you think it's impossible. But Auto Sales Master is actually not very hard, and I want you guys to start picturing it. Because once you picture this, the whole system begins with Auto Sales Master. So once you start envisioning yourself able to achieve Auto Sales Master, it will continue. And then you'll be able to help the next member become Auto Sales Master. In Atomy, I tell you this, it's actually helped me a lot. Because in business, we have to face a lot of stress. There's a lot of things that you do business you don't like. But in Atomy, I find that it's improved me. I never get mad. Doesn't matter if I get a member that can't learn how to sign up people or keep making mistakes on the lineage. But I don't get mad. So that's something that can't be taught. Somehow, the Atomy business has taught me to be very patient and continue to help them. We do a lot of workshops, so it's all about personal growth. I know a lot of people, they focus purely on the business, but if your personal growth and your personal health, personal beauty develops, what happens? You already become a more positive person. All of us, when you're positive, you know what happens? You got the happy endorphin. That actually makes you healthier. Right? And that's why it's very important to be happy. Of course, taking the 𝐉𝐻𝐈𝐍 helps. I take it too. Yeah. And I know, Atomy, a lot of people look at, other people and they say, oh, they're so lucky. They're lucky for a reason. Maybe they had something in the past. That's why this round, they had the luck. For you, you might have to do a little bit more work. But in Atomy, I can tell you this. Every one of you have luck. And you know what the luck is? Someone introduced you to Atomy. You already got the luck now because you got that free global business account. And this can happen to you. I know a lot of people, they say, how do you do the business? I can tell you this, be crazy. That's all you need. Don't let your family stop you. Don't let your husband or wife stop you, okay? Don't let anyone stop you if you love Atomy, right? And another key thing is, a lot of people always ask me, how do you become a good leader? Well, I think the only thing to become a good leader is to not be a leader. You just need to be a super assistant. So don't put yourself up there as a leader. Instead, help the member below you. Put yourself equal to them. It's not the title that defines a person, right? We all came to this world the same, right? Do we all leave the same? Yeah, you can't take nothing with you. That's why, for those of us who realize a little earlier, please contribute. And, I have to admit, our chairman created an excellent company. It allows every one of us to be a better person. You know, I have to show you this slide because these were there was two of the ladies there. They're actually my Malaysian members. And I still remember when I first grew that team. Remember, it's very difficult. Canada and Malaysia is far. Yeah. And when they first got their sales master, chairman was giving out the certificate. Yeah. And you know, when I saw these two members of mine getting their mastership, it felt like they were my own kids. I felt like I wanted to cry because, wow, they achieved their first level from the hard work. You know, that's why I tell you this. Treat your members just like your own children, okay? You know, I know for some of you probably thinking, I need to grow the business outside. You can, but growing a business outside takes a lot of work. According to your population in Philippines, there's over 120 million people. I think there's a lot of room just to even grow here first, because it's closer, right? But still, you can do both. That's what I'm trying to tell all of you. But just remember, when you take on extra tasks, it just means a little bit more work. But don't worry, with technology nowadays, it's a lot more easier. And you can share it to outside this, you know, whole Atomy business. It's 28 countries, plus all those global accounts. It's a lot. And you know, Atomy is going to continue to grow in more countries, and you never know who it shares to. Just like myself, I mean, I have members in Europe and Russia, and I've never been there. And I don't know how it sprouted to that point. But that's how our Atomy business can really expand. And I know many people say dreams don't come true. Is that right? Raise your hands. Right? A lot of people say it doesn't come true, right? Yeah. The reason why is because you're always just dreaming. You need to actually be determined, and you need to make this dream come true. Dream is just a signal. It's there to just tell you guys, this is something that you want. Like most of us, when we really want it, what happens? You can make it happen. Like for example, I'll talk about relationship. Let's say you met this person, you really like them, and you really want them. What do? You do your research, right? You see which day they get off work or where they work, and then you work towards it. So it's same. When you have that dream, it's something that you want, please, just be determined and work towards it, and it will happen. You know, for me, I'm very lucky. Atomy gave me a platform because I actually always wanted to do more charity work because I usually do it every single year. But now it allowed me to do the charity work outside of where I'm stationed in Canada. So Indonesia, I did some charity work because I have members there. They were able to help me. And then, of course, Malaysia too, right? And then even donating products to people who really need it. Yeah. Because, you know, once you have the capability, that's where you can do a lot more. You know, I learned from one of our very famous African businesswoman in Canada, in USA, I mean. She said something, to do charity, you need to have resources. It also means money, right? So just like myself, to do charity in these parts of town, I need to fly very far. It does cost a lot, but it's very rewarding when you're able to help someone in need. So that's why I do really appreciate Atomy. It has given me something that's one of my dreams, is to do a lot of charity work. And it's actually given me, it's up here right in front of me. You know, I can just tell you this, there's so many pictures of the charity work I've done, and I haven't been in Atomy that long. You know, usually you have to be doing something a long time before it allows you. But all these charity keep appearing. I actually was going to come to Philippines and do some, but because of pandemic, it actually held back. So I hope maybe my next trip here, I'll have extra time and I can do some additional charity work in Philippines. And I'll tell you how amazing our product is. Actually, in Vietnam, there's a businesswoman. She takes care of a lot of these senior people who have problems, mobility issues, and they're very old because there's no care home in Philippines. And I made a really unique donation to her. I donated to her hundreds of toothpaste and toothbrush. Do you know a lot of seniors, right? They have gum disease. Especially if they don't eat properly, that means they're not going to get the nutrition and they won't be very healthy. So when I donated this product to her, she was really amazed. She goes, no one ever thought of donating this to her. And I said, because I looked at your situation, I'm sure they need this product. And I actually had to ask a lot of people to help me bring it in because you know how heavy our toothpaste is? It's heavy. Yeah. So our journey is very simple. We just kept moving forward. I still remember back then, I was a Diamond Master. You guys know Jason Sim? Is he coming here? Not yet. Okay, you know what? Next time I see him, I'll tell him for you. He's a good speaker. I like him. Yeah. Because actually, he helped inspire me. Yeah. So he was Sharon Rose Master back then. Now look at the next picture. He's Crown Master, and I'm Royal Master. Right? So in Atomy, I tell you this, please make it fun. Take out the stress. You don't need to be stressed about everything. Don't worry about your PVs. Don't worry about how many people you sign up. No, just do it happily, okay? And even me at the seminar, I always try to make it fun. I use the probiotics to create an Atomy logo there. And like many of us, you know, today someone asked me, how do you get people to come to the seminars? I actually didn't want to tell you guys earlier because I wanted to save it for here, okay? So how I actually made myself go to the seminar. You know, back then, I'm just a nobody, right? Yeah. So what I did is I wanted to collect stars. And what kind of stars am I collecting? Atomy stars. Star Masters. Yeah. So every time they come in town or they're nearby, I would go to the seminar and I said, I need to get my picture. Right? So actually, I collected lots of pictures before. Tons. So many. Yeah? And while collecting these pictures, you know what happened? I too became a star. That's why I tell you guys, if you guys make it fun, it will happen. You will become successful. And then this Star Master, he had a really good phrase. I want you guys to all say it together, okay? Let's do it together, okay? All right. I can do it. You can do it. We can do it. Aja, aja, aja. No, I'm very happy that Eric invited me. It's been a long time. You know, I love Philippines. Your food is excellent. A little bit too much food. I think I gained a couple pounds already. And I wish you all the best. And I hope I get a chance to come back here to share more stories with you guys. And I wish you all the best of luck. Hope you enjoy today. Thank you.
I'll stand up and give a big round of applause to Royal Master, Mr. Ming Ayu. One more time, Atomians! Grabe, sobrang dami ng ating learnings for